Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. About to get into the second match between Regicide and Sin. The first game was a
stomp.
One-sided affair, we should
Big
say.
stomp.
Big stomping ground. It was a bit unfortunate for Regicide, quite frankly, and now they have a chance to go into game 2 and try and redeem themselves.
Yeah, coming into game 2 from Regicide, I just think they need to not have a disaster early. That bot lane was an absolute kerfuffle down there, and they just got mega punished. DZZ in the top side of the map was playing well, was winning the 1v1. They need to draft him into a good situation again, I think, and then potentially get a safer matchup in the bot lane. Rogue's Thresh, obviously very good, and then they just first picked the alley, which is Thresh is a good matchup, and they just left it open. So they picked themselves into a hole, and then they just got blasted.
Yeah, and I think they need to stop doing that. First picking the Alistar. Not the best of choices from Regicide, but we'll have to see what they change heading into pick some bans for game number 2.
And they are on red side now, which means they have less flexibility in their first set of bans. So interesting to see how they navigate this one. As we're just
Sin taking their time, like, you know what, we've got like 30 seconds. We're going to take forever. And, something went wrong, so we're going to go back here. They're going to try and go to Champion Select again and actually hit the buttons.
They didn't like the Kha'Zix ban.
Nah.
Rogue. No, not Rogue. It would have been Dokler in the top lane ban Kha'Zix. And everyone's like, nah, abort, get rid of it. I said, no, they banned 5 junglers last time.
Yeah, you know, they don't want
sticking to the trend. Yeah,
they made Fade play Jarvan.
I reckon they need to ban 5 top laners this time. Get rid of Jax, Camille, Aurelia. Get rid of all the ZZZs.
Ban out ZZZ?
Yeah. He was the one that was winning. Just get rid of him.
So the gameplay for Sin was like, ZZ was the only one that looked competent enough to beat us. We banned him out and hoped that the rest of the map falls apart again.
Yeah. With
all the picks left open this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why I'm not a coach.
I think Jish should be very proud of you.
I just listen to Coach Jish, Papa Jish, standing behind us as Papa Jish as we're in Champ Select. He has his little notebook and his sweater, and he just trots along behind us, sort of thing, and tells us what to pick.
That's it. Just says you pick this, you pick that, go in the game.
Unlike Drac, who says, Rosie, mate, rapid fire cannon, follow your dreams. You can do whatever you like. You can take 7 kills on the Bard and build a rapid fire cannon and go 7-0-49. That's fantastic.
Why can't you do that?
I don't have the freedom. I have to listen to Coach G.
So it's a dictatorship, basically. It's not democracy in the Chiefs Gaming House?
Yeah, different styles of government in the Chiefs House. But, moving on back to this game, as we're unfortunately still not on Champ Select. Probably hello. Hey, Juves. Oh, we're back.
No.
He's playing hard to get. There was a slight glance there.
It's breaking my heart, Juves.
Yeah.
He knows. He knows what's up.
Did you see that? That synergy out of Bensel. Juves has got a bit of fluff on his back. Bensel just picks it up right off the back, takes it off.
Would Coach Dish help you out with that?
I don't know.
Collar's a little bit weird or something. You know, helps to adjust it. Does your tie up as well?
He didn't take my undershirt off for me.
Oh, no.
I had to ask the ref.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Coach just always steals my sweaters. So
yeah. That's a spicy topic. We didn't need to bring that one up.
Went missing for about 3 weeks. Here, Jim. Was
3
not
weeks.
Happy.
Have you got it back?
Yeah, I got it back.
Okay.
It magically reappeared one day. Just swears that he didn't put back.
Oh, okay. As we get the CDIs from Spawn standing there over the chest, magically reappeared.
Another person who likes to steal my sweater.
He doesn't steal your vests, though. No,
these are my vests.
Okay. Got enough vests. You can't steal all of your vests. You physically can't carry.
Impossible.
You wear a vest every day, but there's too many. You can't carry them in your hands.
Absolutely great. And we're still waiting to get back into Champions Select. Regicide haven't had a great split so far. Only picking up a single map victory, and that was against a banless Abyss.
And Sin in that game, honestly, just looked very good, very clean. Sin are kind of notorious in the OPL for playing really messy League of Legends and then potentially in the mid-game, in the late game, making some blunders and kind of throwing the game and causing disarray. But in that game, they played fairly well. They had the advantage from early on, and they transitioned it well across the map, helped Dokler out in his losing matchup, and yeah, they didn't do the throw. They didn't do the big throw at Baron or anything like that. They played team fights well, played their macro well, and picked up a very clean victory.
Yep. Well, we're into Champions Select again between Sin as well as Regicide straight away. Kha'Zix as well as Lee Sin being banned out. So 2 jungle bans already thrown at Fade.
Reckon there's going to be 5 this time again?
Oh, potentially. No more Thresh available for Rogue here. So that's banned out by Regicide.
First ban, target ban on red side. Meaning some of the OPs and the Caitlyn as well. Some of the OPs are going to be available. Like this week, we have seen a lot of the Zac with the resurgence of these new tank junglers. Teams are letting it go through. Caitlyn does hit the bench, so Potentially another Xayah Tristana matchup if they do opt into that one, and they do ban away the Braum. They really want him to go on the Alistar again. Rogue probably has another counter pick up his sleeve.
Sin really like to ban out Braum first draft rotation. They get Gragas as soon as they can. That was Regicide's target ban last game. Instead, Doklo's Jace gets banned out, so this should be a Gragas pick from Sin, you'd assume.
Potentially. Other than that, I think they could probably just take away the Xayah. In my opinion, the next best.
Monkey King,
80K.
let's go.
And they're just throwing so much shade to series right now. This is 2 games in a row. They do hover the... Oh, now they're throwing it at ZZZ. They hover the ribbon.
Yeah, that's disrespect. ZZZ's about to stomp someone in the top lane. He's not happy about that. But Xayah is the first pick coming out from Sin.
And now, as a red side team, this is a difficult situation because obviously you want to deny the Rakan away from the Xayah Rakan combo. You don't want to give them that because it's just so potent at all stages of the game. But then, if you take away the Rakan that isn't necessarily very strong with whatever 80 carry you can pick up, you immediately also get counterpicked by the blue side in their next rotation. So curious to see if they do take it away or if they do think they have some sort of counterpick as they are looking at it. And as an Ali main, Rakan has a fairly similar playstyle, so not straying too far from his main bay.
And that was an Elise pickup for Fade as well, with Rakan being locked in for Trench Trend. Juves hovers.
Very briefly.
Very, very briefly.
And they do lock it in?
They do lock it in, so it's not a... Rogue!
He's
Bit of disrespect there coming out from him. Picks up the Alistar, gives him the Aegium thinking sign.
And then he was then just explaining, he was like, someone asked him, what did he do? What did you do to the camera? And he did it again. Now he's too embarrassed. But yeah, the Alistar matchup into the Rakan is actually fairly good. Rakan goes for the engage, the Alt W onto your 80 carry sort of thing, and then you just headbutt away the Callista, and there's no follow-up damage. They blow their combo, and you just headbutt them away. So the individual matchup is fairly good, and they do pick up the Callista. Obviously, a lot of synergy with the Rakan. Allows him to get free engages off, not afraid of dying ever. And they do ban away the Talia.
Yeah, Talia being banned out towards Ryoma, who has had a great split on the champion. A couple of teams like to target ban that out. Jax being banned by Sin, so throwing a couple of ZZZ's way.
Are they looking for another Renekton pick, potentially? Regicide do have the first pick outside of this, so they are banning away mid laners, so potentially going to be a mid blind pick here, and then getting the counter pick for ZZZ. In my opinion, that would be their best option in terms of winning this matchup. They already have the Elise, who's a very good jungler for diving top lane. She clears pretty quickly, and then, yeah, does a lot of damage, has the CC, can drop the turret aggro, so if ZZZ can bully around, they banned the ribbon. If he can bully around Dokler again like he did last time, they do have dive pressure.
That is a respect ban if I've ever seen one from Sin.
And they're Renekton.
Yeah, locked in top lane for ZZZ. Should be happy with that pick.
You would expect something like the Gnar to come out, maybe. Potentially another range matchup, Lucian, Kennen. Oh, potentially the Galio.
Yeah, that could be locked in. We've seen Ryoma play it before.
Pretty interesting seeing Galio last patch went from like first pick ban worthy, if you leave Galio up, like what are you doing sort of thing, to now all these tanks have come back in and everyone's like, oh, second phase Galio? No, I don't want that one. Like let's grab a Rek'Sai.
Instead, Rek'Sai's picked up for Juves, so it would be Gragas top lane for Dokla. Ryoma's pick now being picked up by Rogue.
And yeah, interesting to see what he picks up here.
So counter pick for Seelman. Seelman has not had a great split. Last split when he was in Exile 5 for a brief period, he looked like a very strong mid laner, but moving on to Regicide, he has not looked good in the mid lane.
He looked pretty good when he was on the Chiefs Special Forces squad.
He did.
He had a good performance, but yeah, as you said, the Cassio pickup.
So let's see what Seelman runs into it. Yeah, so a very strong blind pick at the moment, especially with Cassidy and Talia being banned out.
Potentially something like the Zed.
Let's see, he could throw the gauntlet. Seelman was known as an assassin player. His Ahri is still up. Wants to pick it up. And Zed goes for the Syndra pick instead.
Good matchup for the Syndra. You're like Ranger for most of the time, so unless you get picked off by some cheeky ulti or anything like that, Syndra, pretty immobile champion, does opt in for the Ghost if he doesn't change his summoner spell. But yeah, I think the big point to take away from this draft is the Renekton early lane bully. The Gragas is fairly good sustain, fairly good matchup. Should be able to hold his own up there, but it is in terms of the jungle matchup. The Rek'Sai traditionally is good into the Elise. You can scout around it with your passive, the Tremor Sense, and then kind of kind of shadow the Elise, and Elise is the champion where you need to get the ganks off early, and you need to snowball one of your lanes. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind the tank like Rexo, right? So he's probably Juice is going to look to shadow fade around the map potentially for this top side dive that I was talking about.
And a much more standard team composition from Regicide this game. Sin sticking to the guns. Very standard for them. Rogue picking up the Alistar here, trying to take it to Trend, who's gone for Rakan in this match. Rakan closer, we haven't seen too much of it in the OPL, but we know it's a very strong bottom lane duo.
Yeah, internationally it's very, very potent, very strong. It's very similar to the Kalista Ali that we have seen in the past. You just have a longer engage range, and yeah, it's just kind of actually an easier combo, because Ali, you can flash combo, but Rakan can flash W, like you just get more distance, so it's just so much easier. More potential for picks, but obviously a weaker lane phase. I think Rakan lane phase without Xayah is pretty rough. You do have a little bit of sustain in your queue, but without the ability to get the double size dash onto your AD carry, like when you're Wing forwards for a trade, if it doesn't connect, you do get punished pretty hard on the return.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that bottom lane matchup goes. FBI had a really strong game #1 on Xayah. Was able to completely bully out Jenny as well as Chen Shen. So let's see if we can do the same thing here. But for now, let's check in with Spawn, who is standing by with Sin's coach, Bensel.
Hey guys, I'm standing beside Bensel, coach of Sin Gaming. My first question is, how do you send you guys back onto Summoner's Rift after such a commanding performance? Is it just like more of that, guys? Get straight back out there?
We didn't even talk about that game at all. So I just said, okay, so what are we going to do next game? You know, just think about what the draft's going to look like. Is it going to look any different? Do we want to do anything differently? I think the answer is no for that. But we've ended up with something a little bit different for this game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. 7-1-4, people thought it was going to be pretty rigid with, you know, Duskblade as well as the tank meta. You guys have found some flexibility that maybe other teams haven't. This is nearly a 7.13 draft coming out of you, Bensel.
Yeah, I think people can go a little bit overboard with some strange champions on 7-1-4. You can still stick to the old stuff. I mean, they were strong for a reason, and you can still build big armor items, and the lethality champs don't really have anything on that. All
right, cool. And last question for you. The transformation finally seems to be there. Sin traditionally was a top side of the map team. You guys focused heavily bottom side of the map. Is now Ryoma and FBI like in a position where you guys can feel comfortable, you know, playing heavily towards that side of the map?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge for us is going to be that when we play against teams that have a stronger top side of the map, and when they focus on that, can we deal with that? I think is going to be the big question. When we challenge teams to bot side of the map play and they just try and match us, it always seems to go well. So, you know, that's a challenge to all the other teams, I guess.
All right, well, fingers crossed it goes well this game. Thanks for speaking to us. Let's throw it back to you, the casters.
Gary Bensel's thoughts on this match there. Didn't even talk about game 1. Straight away focused on game #2. For Rogue, he's not a one-bell Mukau Ali.
Yeah.
He likes to spam the sound.
But he hasn't opted for a chroma pack. You know what he's done? He's bought the skin, but he didn't hit the next tab, you know? Where like you gotta go from skins to chromas in the new store.
But isn't this the skin that synergizes with FBI's colors?
No, Blue Alley.
Oh boy.
Blue Alley for the cape. So he's doing the cowbell, but he doesn't have the right color. Come on, Rogue. Working like I'm disappointed.
Meanwhile, good knockup coming up from Trent in the bottom lane. Gets some damage onto FBI's Ryoma. Absolutely style on Sealman to kick things off. 300 health left for the Syndra. But Ryoma is running low on mana at the moment.
Yeah, and yeah, it does get a cheeky chunk in him there. Elise did start on the bot side, so potentially looking for this dive that we were talking about, but Dokla is pushing in on the top side of the map. ZZZ started a Doran's Blade. That's an aggressive choice.
It certainly is.
And we do see Juves is faster on the clear. His bot lane did leash the race. They got the alley combo and the damage from FBI onto the race. So he's faster on the clear. Going to be in the top side, potentially setting up vision for Dokla to keep pushing in this wave. As we mentioned, yeah, she wants to shadow the Elise, wants to preempt any sort of cheesy ganks on the top side that Fade can pull off. But is looking to go back towards the bottom.
I'm not wrong. It's one of the matchups that Gragas is okay going into. Let's see how Dokla does top side of the map. Juice shadowing mid lane slightly here as Sealman's been able to heal up off that 1 health potion. Mr. Stun gets still good trade still. Auto attack will proc Thunderlords. Ryoma just fires back the Twin Fangs and retreat pings are coming out as Fade makes itself known in the mid lane.
That was really quick. As soon as Ryoma stepped up, they just instantly pinged the bot side jungle. They knew Juice would have been hovering behind him. Rogue going in.
Getting a couple of cowbells there, but no stun lock coming down from the other start.
Nice trade, but they don't get too much damage. The follow-up is there. Misses another stun.
Fade. There we got a cocoon. It's a bit of damage onto Ryoma, forces him to use the final corrupting potion charge. However, Sealman automatic going back to base.
Yeah, this is the second game today we've seen a jungler have to... Oh, he misses the W.
Oh, Ryoma.
Oh, no, that's a tilter. But yeah, Fade hovering the mid lane so that Seaman can get out of a bad situation. Took that early trade quite poorly and wanted to push in the lane and get the reset, so Fade helped him do that.
Topside Matt Doppler doing just fine against EZ to kick things off. Renekton still holding that single potion. Rogue, though, will be able to knock Cherny Boy back. Forces the heal very early. Juice doesn't get a knock up. Now Cherny trying to kite his way towards the base of Sin. Throwing spears into Juice, but will fall here. FBI picks up first blood.
Very nice. Ali, level 2, level 3. Gank with the flash is obviously very strong. It's an ancient combo sort of thing. The early gank in the bot lane with the Alistar has now been nerfed because the knock-up doesn't actually stun on the second phase of the CC for Alistar anymore, but Rogue still gets it off and does well to actually preempt the flash. He was sitting in a range where he was still proccing his E, the bells were ticking, and then as soon as Cherny Boy went forwards, he knew he couldn't flash further. He couldn't flash towards his base, so that's why you saw him run towards the inside of the map.
Also, Zizi doing a good job with Fade here. Fade's going back to base, so Doppler's got to be careful here. Should recall on this wave.
Oh, that's in cocoon range.
He's got to be careful. They can dive this.
Oh,
they do.
fly.
Fade flashes for it. ZZ dices on in. Nice. So one more, and it's an easy pick up at the top. Like, great synergy between the two.
Absolutely great prediction out of the Regicide top side there. Fade sitting in the bush, waiting for Gragas to either check that bush or go for the reset. Flash cocoon, and yeah, they do get the kill. And this spells bad things for the Sin lineup. This is another repeat in the top side of the map for Sin in the top side.
Yep. So let's see if Fade and ZZ can continue to snowball their advantage up there. Meanwhile, Rogue, look at Steelman, forces the flash very early there.
Good stuff out of Rogue. Back, Spires doesn't quite get the Mobies, doesn't have enough, so he opts in for the boots and the Ruby Crystal. Gets a free flash mid lane. Juves does have flash, so well, he's standing on the wall, but he's pink, so they don't have vision of him.
ZZ is coming down. Juves will be able to spot him out. Doesn't go for the knockup, instead just burrows his way back towards his side of the map. As things stand, things are very even between the two teams. Another Sheen Star coming out from Dokla this game. Going to rush that Iceborne Gauntlet.
And this mid lane is not in a good position for Seaman right now. It's pushing towards Roma. He's trying to hold a freeze here. It's going to push back eventually, but he's flashless. He knows Juves can hover around. He has the flash. He's just getting bullied out of CS right now.
Fade doing a good job keeping up the pressure nice and early on this release. One of the champions that was banned out against him by Sin last game.
Fade is looking in the bot side. They do have a flashless Ali, as he is going to get spotted.
Sneaks around, gets a pink ward for his troubles. None left in the bottom lane, but it's a big item advantage at the moment. FBI sitting on a BF sword, the Cherny Boy's Vamp Scepter.
But this is very good for Regicide in terms of nothing disastrous has happened early for the bot side of that. They did die to a gank, but Ali had to blow his flash for it. Cherny Boy isn't that far behind in CS. He's just down a wave or so. Does have the Vamp Scepter with the... He didn't actually go in for Warlord, so he actually went for Fervor for that lane sustain and the Doran's Blade, so just wants to farm up for a while, but they're not getting punished as hard as they were in the first game, and ZZZ still has the advantage in the top side of the map, so it's a decent position for them moving forward.
That's the big thing. He gets ZZ ahead. He still takes quite a bit of damage from that combo of Doppler. Has the Sheen available to trade quite well against the Renekton. But ZZ will be very happy in the spot that he's currently in, pushing the waves in against the Gragas. Seaman looking to pick up his first blue buff of the game as well, donated over by Fade.
As the Sin bot laner potentially walking up the river. Just getting a cheeky ward over the wall. Hit the blasting plan, as a lot of bot lanes do, so that Fade can't get into that bush without them knowing about it. He doesn't have that free path. And Riot Benji has put blessings on us all, and we've got another Infernal Dragon as the starting dragon.
Oh, that's Roma. Flash and Wall grounds him as well, looking for this kill. Knockback comes out of Seaman, but no stun. Easy 1-on-1 by Sin's mid laner.
Great play out of Roma there. Places the ward and then sits in his pink bush. This pink ward has been sitting there for such a long time and hasn't been cleared by Fade or ZZZ roaming down. Seaman can't do it himself, and then, yeah, as Seaman was looking toward that bush, just flashes over, gets the solo kill. Great stuff out of Roma.
Top side, now he saw ZZ as well, trading aggressively against Dokla despite the wave pushing in against him. Renekton more than happy to take these trades with his Phage already picked up. And Roma shoving in this minion wave, stacking up his tier as fast as he possibly can, denying CS from Seaman, who again, he's had a poor split so far, and it's not getting better for him in this match.
Yeah, and the lead isn't too big right now. I guess like we do have the solo kill and the 15 CS deficit, but He's slowly growing this. He's slowly holding freezes where he can to deny a bit of CS, gets the solo kill there, and this is looking really good for Ioma. After his performance in Game 1, you expect really good things.
I mean, there's a 400 gold lead in both FBI and Ryoma. It's only top side of map ZZZ, who is 600 gold ahead of Dopa. So that's where all the gold is sitting for Regicide, where it's evenly spread out for Ryoma and FBI. Let's see if they can continue to snowball this lead for themselves.
It's now that transition, right? It happened in first game as well, where they had that lead in the top side, but they weren't able to transition it into anything meaningful, while Sin were just punishing the bot lane. Now, their bot lane is slightly behind this game, but well, actually, barely even. They're just down the kill from the gank early. He does get a cancel base there. Nice out of Rogue. Buys the Moby boots over the side stone so he can zoom around the map.
Zooming.
He's zooming. He's absolutely zooming. If he had a MS Quince, he'd be zooming even more, but unfortunately he doesn't. As he links up with Juves to clear a bunch of pink wards. They don't check either of those bushes. That's sloppy play out of Sin. They walk past 2 pink wards.
They have 400. He has 450 movement speed. That's stupid.
He's fast. But yeah, as they're looking for this play on the bot side of the map, ZZ and Fade are running down from the top side. They pushed in. They did walk over a wall, so Sin do know they're here, and Rogue is still hovering mid with Juve, expecting the counter gank.
Rakan's there as well. So Chen Shen has done a good job of shadowing the Alistar, making sure he matches Alistar's roam. I mean, he'd be one person that would understand how Alistar does roam.
Absolutely, and I think Rakan is probably the best mid lane hover support champion, if that makes sense. In terms of he has the flash available, his ulti and W, his counter gank potential is absolutely insane. If you ever mess up an engage onto a Rakan and he has the ability to just re-engage on you with his team collapsing, it is very punishing. As Juves is caught here.
Charm comes out from Chenshin, doesn't connect. Chenny Boy still throws him on the wall, and everyone flashes for the jungler from Sin. Ultimate comes out, and Chenny Boy picks up the kill.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. Rogue and Juves walked up the river, and they did not clear that pink wall. They checked the dot bush, but Rogue messes the combo.
No one saw that.
Unlucky. And yeah, as I was saying, that pink ward saw Juves walk into the bot side jungle. It's still just sitting there, and they get a nice collapse. Juves got his tunnel over the wall during the Rakan ulti, but with the Fate's Call, they still get the engage off. As Chenny Boy's in a bit of trouble.
Ooh, he's going to get knocked into the wall, knocked up as well. The stun charge is picking up by Rogue. Chenny is going to use the heal very early there. Chen Chen forced the flash away. Teleport does get cancelled, I believe, by Dokla. His ultimate is down. There's a 3-on-2. Rogue pops his ultimate, so does FBI. Propel comes out of Fade. Exhaust though, but FBI, he gets a kill, turns it around. Chen Chen's next, flashes away for the kickless. He gets a double, make that a triple kill for FBI.
Absolutely amazing play out of Sin's bot lane there. They get the 2v3 outplay. Because of the early skirmish in the bot side jungle, Kalista nor not Varus, sorry, the Rakan didn't have ultis. And they just pick up the 2v3. The TP was coming in from ZZZ, but as you said, Dokla did cancel that with his ulti. I'm pretty sure that middle bush, he was, as you saw on the map, ZZ was TPing in and gets it cancelled by the blind ulti. But here we see the engage. They get a lot of damage down onto the Rakan early, and they look for this re-engage with Fade coming. The TP gets cancelled right there, and it's at this moment where Ali tanks the Cocoon and they can't get onto FBI, that they're in a lot of trouble there. Ali is useless right now, and all their CC is going into him. That's a huge root from the ulti. Rakan is just way too low, and Chenny Boy just doesn't have enough stacks to kill him, so...
FBI and Rogue played that perfectly.
Absolutely great play out of the bottom lane there, and...
Tommy's 4-0-0 again on the Xayah. He's got his accessory picked up with boots too, looking for his first Zeal item.
He's big, that's huge.
And Chenny's still sitting on his components for Blade of the Ruined King.
And after that engage, they did push in the bot side. They didn't bounce the wave, but they do opt for the switch. So not opting to stay bot side for the Infernal Drake. They do match Regicide in flipping their bot lane to the top side of the map. So potentially Rift Herald is the next objective as they push in this lane.
Chenny and Chen Shen will continue pushing top side up. That guy's already here. He'll pick up this wave. Nice and easy. Dokla doing just fine against ZZ. He's a level down. But there's a gank coming topside. That's a flash combo from Rogue. He'll get the stun lock again. Fade is up here looking for the kill. Chenny, incredibly low, jumped off by Juice. That's the first kill picked up by Sin in this fight. Chen and Fade will get back to safety.
And this is, it's kind of what we were talking about in the draft phase, where the Elise has to get these early ganks off, and it just seems like he didn't do enough in the early game, and in these skirmishes, he's just not providing anything. He's not ahead of Juice. Juice already completed the Cinder Hulk. He's just already there, counter-ganking these games, counter-ganking these ganks, sorry, and he's just having much more of an impact, and once again, Sin's bot lane are just popping off.
They certainly are. FBI 4-0-1, 40 CS ahead of Chenny Boy. Sin take 2 outer turrets to the back of those plays, and they now move towards Rift Herald.
And they're probably looking to make a play for the mid lane turret, as Regicide are actually potentially going to contest this. Kalista can't be there. They have no ulti on the Rakan.
Let's see, they can spot out Chen. They pulled
nice.
the Rift Herald out of the pit.
They don't have a sweeper available, and none of them have pink ward. So obviously they knew it was warded, and they didn't want to keep Rift Herald standing next to the wall where Faye can just smite it over the wall. They wanted him to either commit with a repel over the wall and potentially suicide for it, or just not even go for the contest. So really nice play out of Sin there, as they do pick up the Rift Herald.
And Dokla standing his ground against ZZZ. Still has his ultimate available. ZZ was threatening a dive with the Dominus up. Yeah, this Gragas doing fine, and Dokla's had a much better Super Week than he has at the start of the split. Playing very well.
Yep, and an interesting deploy out of Sin here is they're deploying their bot side to match the 2v2. They are like so much further ahead than the Regicide lane. Is Elise floating down? He's just looking for the soul. Elise has started Dragon.
Solid. Fade's like, screw that. I'm going to take an Infernal Dragon. You kill the Gragas. ZZ's popped Dominus already. Dokla trying to fight his way out, very low mana, pops the ultimate, knocks ZZ back, trying to cut him off, but here comes Chen. That's a bit of a Swiffer flash there, as Dokla's now going to try and waddle his way out. Fade stops doing the Infernal Dragon. What the heck? Dokla's done a do-si-do. He might just get out of this. Sin's coming in. Juve's looking for the smite. Fade, can he get this one? No smite available for either juggler. Fade's coming back up. Will eventually be able to take this one down. Juves gets out. Dokla's going to execute himself.
Does he get the execute, or does ZZ?
Oh, he got it.
Yeah, he does get the execute. That was so weird. Fade was just sitting on the dragon the entire time, like, no, I don't want to come into the bot lane.
Roma fancies a fight against Human, almost falls. Stands there for a quick second thinking he was dead, but Rogue and FBI is like, well, you guys do your thing across the other side of the map. We're going to take turrets.
Yeah, and that's worked out really well for Sin. They didn't get the... he flashes for it.
Hello? Chen? What's he doing?
Oh, he missed the charm like twice there. He flashed onto him, just missed, and then Juice gets the tunnels away and has to W for it. But that entire time, they do pick up the Infernal Drake on the bot side of the map, but they don't get the kill into Dokla. He does get the shutdown. Sorry, the suicide to the turret. But Sin pick up the top lane inner on the other side of the map.
Dokla not taking a note out of Archie's playbook from Gigabyte Marines, letting that wave sit there for a while before trying to clear it, scouting out ZZZ, but still escapes the one-on-one. And again, doing just fine on the Gragas. He is 700 gold behind. Jungle, big advantage for Jews, as well as, my goodness, it's a 3,000 gold lead for FBI. What the heck?
And that lead is only getting bigger. It's now like a 50 CS lead. He just based before, and he's already on 2 items, and Chenny Boy's barely finishing his Bork.
That's dumb.
Yep.
How?
They're looking for this mid turret. They may not even have to drop the Rift Herald forward as... Oh, Roma has no flash.
Almost gets locked down. Training has to be pulled out by Roma. They do get a shutdown onto FBI, so that's big. ZZZ is charging forward again. Rogue with a good double knock-up. Human looking for the slow with the W. Will get good damage onto Rogue. His ultimate is now off. Juice looking for that fight. He can't get it, and ZZZ goes on the killing spree. Last hope for Regicide.
Really nice picks out of the Regicide lineup there. Sin were looking to contest the mid in a turret, and now possibly the reverse. They can pick it up for themselves. Ryoma does have the ultimate, but doesn't have flash, so contesting this wave is very difficult. They do have a lot of CC with the Cocoon that now missed. They have Renekton stun, so great stuff out of Regicide, and
pulls the game back. They're 2,500 gold away, and if they can kill FBI again, that's the gold lead from Sin taken away.
And that was honestly really important, because if you look at the state of the game right now, as we were saying, Zaya's sitting with the 2 items, and Kalista has absolutely nothing. Has Bork components that he now gets a bit of gold for that pick. And they pick up the mid in a turret, and so he gets to base by his Bork. He's still further behind. Sin are going to take the mid out of it because of the Rift Herald, as they get a cheeky charge on that one.
I would just kill this one and Rift Herald the next, right? So they use it.
No, they're too far down in tempo. Ryoma has to catch that top wave. Zaya was coming out of base. They honestly probably didn't need to use that one. They could have just picked up the turret anyway, held it. Potentially going on cooldown fairly soon, and the buff was going to run out, so they wanted to use it somewhere before they just chucked it in a side lane to split push for deny your top laner CS. But ZZZ sitting at 3-0 right now. He's chilling in the side lane.
Yeah, he's got his Tiamat, picks up with the bladed, Black Cleaver. Towards his defensive item next. Spectre's Carl already picked. Double haunting guys for the side of Regicide. One on Sealman, one on Fade.
And I'm interested to see if Sin opt into a 1-3-1. Cassio is one of the mage mid laners that can do fairly well in a side lane. Cassio would probably
Moo.
Ooh.
There he goes. Moo.
Oh.
Doesn't get the knock up though. Forces the flash out of ZZZ.
That headbutt was very close to not hitting there. ZZZ did great to almost dodge that one away, but Casio is one of the mage mid laners that can actually side lane very well, especially as their setup is right now. This deploy is great from Sin, because this long lane, Casio will chase down anyone in the side lane. Oh, they missed the knockup.
Trying to get Dokla here. He's caught. Picks up a kill against the flow again. Dokla shouldn't be that far up.
Absolutely. Casio's on the other side of the map. In this long lane, Roma will run anyone down, but in the 4v5 on the other side of the map, they need to respect that they will lose the team fight. No TP, no ability to get there. And he's one of their main damage threats. They do have FBI, who's really, really big right now, but he can't do all the heavy lifting. As, yeah, Dokla just finds himself in a sticky situation, now sitting at 0-3-0.
They will get some chip damage in this mid lane inner. Top lane inner was already destroyed by the duo previously.
And Sin actually have...
Oh, that's an engagement, bro. Flashes straight on top of Chen. He's forced to flash out. Tanking up the turret for now. Good double charm from Chen Shen. Fade's going to come in the back lines. Does lock down Alistar, who has his ultimate up. They throw Chen Shen back in as well, but Dokla's here too. Going to stop the engage. Body pops it back. ZZ taking a lot of damage. Feathers being thrown. No root coming out of FBI just yet. He throws out his ultimate as well.
Nice engage.
Disengage.
Yeah, nice engage at a rogue there, but they don't get the follow-up route. So Kenny Boy gets to leave. He flashes away. Nice re-engage by Shen Xuan on the Rakan, but doesn't amount to a whole lot of anything. Both top laners TP into the fight, but nobody actually falls down at the end of that. A lot of summoners blown and ultimates blown, but not too much as a result. They're pinging around the Baron. Sin actually do have a very quick Baron. Rek'Sai and Casio, especially Casio with a blue buff, could actually just two-man this Baron. So Regicide pinging, respecting that. They do get the wards before they look to reset. And they need to catch their side waves, as Chenny Boy's doing in the top side of the map right now, pushing out that wave.
This game a lot closer for Regicide. 3,500 gold behind. That's not a margin that they can't fight back from. We saw the last time they won a team fight was off the back of ZZZ, their most fed player at the moment, getting a pick onto FBI, who's gone back, picked up a Hex Drinker for himself against the Syndra as well, at least. Yep,
does not want to get one shot in a piece of CC. Get hit by a Syndra stun or a Cocoon and gets absolutely blown up by the Syndra ulti, but and they do have an Infernal Drake on the side of Regicide, so Syndra does so much damage.
And again, neither team really fighting at the moment. Both waiting for the next objective for them to take. Dokla going for a fight against ZZ bottom lane. ZZ still a couple of items ahead as well as a level.
And this is kind of just like the standard ebb and flow of a 1-3-1 versus a 1-4 comp. You see, Seaman got the reset and was looking to catch the top wave.
Oh,
ow. He didn't auto him again. He cast one of his abilities. Come on, Baron. What are you doing?
Press this W.
He's you know what Baron is? He's the Caitlyn that stands in your face and charges ulti instead of just right-clicking you. And then you're sitting there as a support, you're just like, what are you doing? But as Sinner actually looking for the engage here.
Trying to collapse with the Chen Shen and Faye, they don't get it. Meanwhile, Dokla in trouble. He's underneath the turret being dove by ZZ. Defends it for the first time. He's got it back to base though.
Neither of them have TP, so they can't really influence the rest of the map. But yeah, as you see, Casio just cheating into the top side as there's no mid turrets up for either of them, and the Dragon is an air Drake, so neither team really willing to put much resources into it. So as I was saying, this is the ebb and flow of a 1-3-1 versus a 1-4, where the 1-4 has these windows where they want to pick a fight whilst Casio is in the side lane, or as they look for it on
Faye flash cocoons and misses. He's got a repel low on health. Chen Shen with a double charm, knock up onto FBI, avoided with his own ultimate. Meanwhile, Juice gets that kill to Faye. Big body bot coming out from Dokla. Chenny in trouble, trying to cut out of this fight. But Chen Shen's the first to fall. FBI gets that kill, and another body bot from Dokla will slow them down. He still wants to chase Schumann. He's going to back out. ZZ is on turrets, but Sin of their eyes set on Baron.
And they had that window, but they just botched the engage. Fade flashes in, misses the cocoon, and then ZZZ stayed in the bot lane to push it in, whereas Dokla got the rotate, gets the flash belly bop to re-engage the fight. Great pickup by Sin, and as you said, yeah, just looking to pick up the Baron. Uncontestable, there's no jungler, no smite on the side of Regicide, so... And this is the point where it becomes really hard to hold for Regicide. When you can't match the team in a split push, and they have Baron, it just becomes overwhelming. And these inners in the bot and the mid lane are going to drop, like, basically immediately. They're going to have to sack them as Sin can push up all three waves and rotate between them. The Ali's flash is coming up fairly soon, so they can pick any engage they want. No flashes on the carries of Regicide. Kaliss is coming up fairly soon, but for the likes of the Syndra, for the likes of the Elise, they will both get one shot in an Ali combo.
Let's see if they can get this off again, because Regicide now 5,000 gold behind, Sin with a Baron buff. They're going to push into them. Almost feels like Regicide need to make a big play here. If not, it'll be lights out for them against this.
Fade is looking for a flank. Oh no, he's just doing this. I thought he was going to walk around, look for a wrap around potential cocoon onto the likes of FBI. Doesn't have a QSS, so couldn't get out of that one.
Doklo is still split pushing at the moment. And this mid lane in the turret is very low. One more push from Sin will take this down. They're being very patient with it.
Yeah, they just need to play it slow. While Doklo pushes in that bot side, just let the minions walk up to the turret. Eventually, Regicide concede it. They're going to do the same in the bot lane. The top lane is pushing towards them, so if they don't commit to a dive straight away on the inhib, someone potentially may have to go and catch that one. Doklo does have TP, but he's opting to just group right now, even though he doesn't have flash.
So bottom lane in the turret's going to be the next one to fall. Sin, they could push through here with the Baron buff, but it seems like they're going to do just that.
Cassio mid though, so potentially a window here for them to look for an engage. They get the cocoon.
And lands onto Doklo though, one of the tankier members of Sin.
Rakan.
That rapid fire cannon from FBI.
Yeah.
Shifts away at Chenny. Looking to get some auto attacks on towards this turret. They have the cannon minion here being buffed up, just getting a couple auto attacks in, chipping away at this turret.
Rakan no flash though, so it's actually fairly hard for Regicide to get access to the backline, and you don't really want to be engaging onto the likes of a Gragas, onto an Alistar, and even the Rek'Sai. Neither of those things are very good threats that you want to go on. You see, he's looking for the engage, Trenchon, but he's just not pulling the trigger because he doesn't see the window onto FBI.
Sin breaking apart this team quite well. They've already chipped away so heavily at bottom lane inhibitor turret, as well as mid lane inhibitor turret, and Regicide have not pulled the trigger. They lose one inhibitor turret, the bottom one's going to fall too.
They need to make a choice. They need to just pick one side and they need to go for it, or they're going to lose both. They're just hesitating right now. Nice stun onto Ryoma. There's a
Juve, so just flashes straight on top of Stuma and wants that kill, but ZZ's popped Dominus. He's going for a good grounded, stops the dice coming out from ZZ. Flash as well as the Petrify. This buys so much time for Sin to take down bottom lane inhibitor turret.
Really well played, Ryoma. They're predicting that as soon as he got off the miasma, Shenchuan would just go straight for the combo, but predicts it with the ulti, flashes over the wall, gets the stun, but a bit of miscommunication from Juves and Ryoma there. Juves flashes onto the Syndra, probably expecting a flash miasma follow-up to get the pick, but Ryoma doesn't commit, so they do find themselves in that little bit of a hole that Ryoma manages to outplay.
Let's see what Sin do next. Juves is at half health, but he should be comfortable in the current position for his team. This inhibitor turret is below half health. ZZ is posturing quite aggressively, but I can't really see a window where you can jump in for this fight. Ryoma's staying as level reward, so they know where he is.
No stun. Syndra stun down, that's going to be an inhib. Rogue still has ulti. Yeah, they just walked up.
There's the miasma, and Zed Sin back off for now.
Rakan's flash is coming up very soon. They potentially do actually hold this inhibitor. No way for Sin. The entire time that happened, nobody caught the top wave, so it did bounce off the turret. There is a big wave building on the top side of the map, but Sin opt into a reset.
Baron's down.
Yeah, their Baron falls off. They don't have the likes of Cassio ulti. FBI still doesn't have flash, so they weren't comfortable fighting in that choke. In terms of the engage from Regicide, the choke in the mid lane is actually really easy to get a fight off. You can get a flank from either side, and then with the flash, you can come from the side and basically they'll all be standing in the line and hitting the inhib. You can get a 5-man engage, so they didn't want to opt into that. So smart, safe play by Sin, which is something they're not really known for in the OPL. So
not just running down mid, forcing an A range.
Well, they were running it down mid, but they were doing it slowly. So although it was the right choice, they were pressuring the inhib.
Yep, Grago's own play has been picked up by Doklo as well. Ryoma's gone for the Saracen Embrace. That's fully stacked up with Vola Mages. So he's going to be a happy camper in the mid lane. But FBI, 3 items already more. Mount Mortius again in this match, despite ZZZ's presence. He's okay with picking up the defensive item.
Yep. Callista does reach the 2-item spike, so potentially does actually do damage now. As Fade was looking for a cheeky flank, Rek'Sai probably saw him with the passive there. As Sinner just looking to pressure the top side of the map again. They don't have Baron this time, so it won't be as easy, but they've
got a shop in though.
Yeah, they've got to buy. They're up so much gold, almost a 10k gold lead here. Just a bit over 9, so they're just going to look to pressure in between these waves, basically until Baron spawns again. The Air Drake has been standing for so long. Neither team has really opted into fighting for that one now. Regicide have just been answering what Sin are doing, and they have put no priority on it right now. So Baron spawning in a minute 50. They do get this inhib.
Yeah, that force nice and easy there. No response coming out from Regicide. And they move straight towards top side of the map. They have a small wave pushing there, but no Baron buff, so it'll be hard to push in for this, and it's the final inhibitor for Regicide. Super Minions crashing towards the Nexus though. They have to go now if they want to do something.
Gragas has flash, Ali have flash. They do have the potential for an engage here, so does Rakan though, so
let's see. Regicide have to force
Who
because
pulls the trigger?
Super Minion's already on the base. There we
Nice.
go. There's the flash coming from Chonchon. We'll lock down a couple. Pulled back by Chenny Boy and spat back out. They're diving into FBI, but he's perfectly healthy. And Ryoma keeps him alive. ZZZ in the back line, so he can't do much. Shutdown coming out for Ryoma. Only 3 members of Regicide left up.
And FBI plays that fight so well. He gets caught in the Rakan engage. Immediate QSS as they continue to fight.
They're going for more. Human force the flash. Chenny going to be the next target. It's Ryoma and FBI taking them down one by one. Only Human left up. Sin march towards the Nexus. They want to take a 2-0 here over Regicide. Human trying not to die inside of his own fountain. Wants to heal back up. FBI's got other ideas. Chucks some feathers into his face. Don't go positioning for the dive. I don't think Sin will go for it just yet. Instead, they focus on the Nexus and they go 2-0 here over Regicide.
And FBI just played that last team fight so well. Gets caught in the Rakan engage, immediate QSS ulti. They get no picks from it. With the Casio just diving into a Casio face first, lands a nice stun with the ulti, and then yeah, Sin just wiped the floor with Regicide at the end there, and that's a 10k gold lead team fight right there. Like even if they get a decent engage, you just lose it anyway, and yeah, Sin smiles on their faces. FBI looking happy with his performance today.
It certainly does. I mean, a lot of people expected this to be a 2-0 going to Sin. And they are a middle-of-the-pack team pushing to try and get into the playoff run again. Regicide, unfortunately, have not had a good split so far. Only pick up a single map victory.
Still smiles. Not on ZZZ. He's not happy. But
this is one of the first weeks, so I believe it's safe to say that we haven't seen improvement from Regicide. Normally, week in, week out, even when they lose 2-0, we say, you know, there was something about their play today that we could see improvement from. This week, however, just didn't look good against Sin at all.
But I guess roster changes kind of do that, right? You have to spend some time bringing a new player into the roster, developing that synergy, developing like how does that player change how you play the game stylistically? Like, is it a carry player? Is it a supportive player? How does that change your dynamics? So obviously, yeah, with their new support, subbing out Decoy, potentially some time used on building that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see more from Chonchon in the future. But for now, let's send it back to Des to round out the day.
Thanks so much, Fish and Egypt. Great cast on the night. However, we asked a question at the start of this block, you know, how were Sin going to be able to close out this game? We thought that they were going to be able to 2-0. That was a foregone conclusion. But we called for clean League of Legends. And I think that in back-to-back games, they did a pretty decent job of delivering on that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that, you know, we've questioned, you know, how consistent can they be? You know, they have a lot of playmakers and they have some players who, you know, aren't the most consistent and have shaky performances here and there. But, you know, the roster performed really well tonight, I think, Tegan.
Yeah, the only thing I could criticize them for is the sort of early to mid-game in Game 2, they did give away a couple silly kills, silly deaths around the map, but that's being really nitpicky. They just performed well today. There's not a lot I can take away from them.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. One player I want to highlight in particular is going to be FBI down there in the bottom lane. This guy was turning ganks left, right, and center. We've got one of them for you to bring up onto the screen. But T-Gun, how hard is it to call the 2v3, you know, counter engage? And I mean, walk us through, you know, exactly how, like, what kind of happens here as well, they're going to be ganked in.
Whenever it comes up, generally before 2v3 even happens,
yep,
you know it's coming. You know you're setting up for it. You're preparing for it, especially mentally. Here we go. The biggest thing I want to highlight at the very start of it is Chen Shen comes into the Rogue knockup for no reason. You don't need to be in there. Now they're cutting back. The TPs are interrupted. Regicide have to hit Rogue here, and that doesn't matter. Rogue's basically invisible until his cooldowns are up, and he was in his ultimate. So FBI's just doing free damage, free damage, free damage. The spears aren't being put into him. They're being put into the cow, which is irrelevant. You don't need to hit him anymore, but they couldn't get around him, and they just kite him back nice and well, and FBI comes out 3-0, and from that point on, you just feel horrible in that 2v2 anytime you put there.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a pretty nice setup from Sin initially, just that they come in from the river and they have like a pretty good angle to get onto the Regicide bot lane. And then, you know, I think whether they actually see it or not, they start like slowly retreating back just based on the TP, and then they have the faith and confidence in Dockler to run up and just, you know, lob his like casket or whatever to cancel the TP, which was really good that they communicate that and they stay confident in their fight. And then, yeah, as we saw, Rogue just body blocks that entire team fight, you know. FBI cleaned up.
Yeah, it certainly was a great start to the game. However, we do have Fish standing alongside with Sin's captain Jules for a quick interview.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm standing by here with the jungler and captain of Sin Gaming after an impressive victory over Regicide. It was completely one-sided. How did you guys feel after that win?
It was pretty clean. We got picked a few times, which was not ideal, but I guess what happened is kind of what was expected. I do think they have like really good individual players, but they just need to like work together better as a team.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see more from Regicide, but congratulations on your victory today. However, yesterday you guys did fall 2-1 to the Direwolves, and you did pick up a really impressive game against them in Game 1. But what kind of happened after that?
Oh, well, I think Game 1 is like the level we can play at. And then Game 2, I think much of the same. Our early game was like so clean, like everyone was out playing, and like I think we got like a pretty decent gold lead. I haven't watched the replay yet, but I'm from memory we got a pretty decent gold lead in Game 2, and we just threw. And it's just about minimizing the errors and closing out games. I think that's our biggest problem since we came back from Vietnam. But I think like it's positive. It's positive for us because they're the best team in OS. Well, they have the title of the best team in OS because they won the split last year. So we're not that far off.
Well, it's good to see that you guys bounced back today and picked up a 2-0 over Regicide. Your next opponents are going to be a tough one, the Chiefs. How do you feel going into that next match?
Well, we watched their game against Legacy, and like Legacy looked really good, and Chiefs. I don't know. I don't know, like, from watching those games, I think we have a good chance. I don't want to sound BM or anything like that, because, like, I'm friends with them and stuff, but I'm definitely confident going into that one.
Well, good luck for you guys, and congratulations on today's victories. We're going to send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Fishers. Always good to hear from Juves, and a pretty reserved interview there. He seems to be, just be taking it as it comes and not counting his chickens before it hatched, and pretty down to earth with how he's evaluating their performance.
I think he was scared because he knows Jish is on the desk and doesn't want to give Jish the last word.
I doubt it.
An intimidating man.
No, I think he definitely was honest. They didn't play a perfect game and they didn't play against the hardest team. He said that there was things he had to clean up, but he was happy with his performance, and I think he should be.
Yeah, I think they certainly should be as well. We're going to also pull up another replay, Jish. I know that you wanted to take a look at this one and walk us through exactly what's happening here. As they're looking for a little bit of a force here, Regicide.
Yeah, so it comes back to that discussion of 1-3-1 versus 1-4, and Sin realize they're losing the 1-3-1, so they pull Tommy out of the top lane. He's roaming down now. Dockler runs straight up mid. There's a bit of a botched engage from Regicide, and Sin do their absolute best just to slow the fight down, kite it out, come back. When they have 5 people here, the fight's just like completely one-sided. Credit to ZZZ, he's taking 2 like bottom lane turrets, but the net gain, I guess, for Sin, because off that they go to Baron. It's just it's a very good job from Sin, I think.
It just looked like they didn't really understand how to engage with Rakan Kalista. It's one of the easiest engages from bot lane, but I never saw them get it to work, and that might be because it's a new support, or it might be just because Sin were playing extremely well around it. I don't want to take it away from Sin, but just it didn't look like they're on the same page at any stage in the game.
Yeah, definitely some maybe stage fright or something from Central. Obviously it's his first. We know he played in the OCS, but this is his first live performance. So maybe he's just a little bit nervous. And I can't fault him too much for that.
The other thing I will say is I played in Melbourne. You guys were lucky enough to be Sydney players when we had the servers. But coming from I don't know where he's from, but if he is a Melbourne player or something like that, going from 40 ping to 6 ping or whatever the heck you play on in the studio, Tegan, it's weird.
Privileged.
I played on the US servers, all right? I went from 200 ping to 6 ping.
I feel like they're two extremes, mate. It's the little tweaks that come with the lessening of pings on a TR.
Yeah, you are right. There is a big difference. Even famously Counter-Strike players say the same thing. They go from playing online to playing on LAN, and there's big differences. Same thing happens in League, and that might be it as well. It might be nerves. It might just be little things, but hopefully they can work on that and sort of come into the team that they want to be.
All right, cool. I want to, as we take a look at the damage graph, just talk about quickly what's next for these teams. Because Regicide, they have to pick themselves up tomorrow, drag themselves up by their shoestring, and they have to play against TM Gaming. Whereas Sin now, I mean, their job's done this weekend. They get to put all their effort into their next week's matches. So, I mean, let's start with Regicide. I mean, what do you take away from this game, and what adjustments are you making overnight? Tegan, help a brother out.
Hopefully none. I'm not going to help them. I need the win. I need wins, all right?
I think that, sorry to say it, Tegan, but I believe that this was definitely the harder match they had of the two, and I think that, they know that. There were some positive signs, their draft, they seemed to correct from game 1 to 2, and they got better matchups, I think. They had aggressive options, and they had some early game, competency, with, especially through that top jungle. At least Renekton, they dove early, and they got, the lead there. So I think that they don't, maybe Prey doesn't only have their number, but, they've definitely got things they can work around, and I think against maybe a slightly weaker team, they have a chance.
All right, flip side at Tegan, because you get to give Sin some advice now going up against the Chiefs, apparently.
I'm sorry.
This is why I complimented Vicarious earlier.
Yeah.
Horrible. Sin, against the Chiefs, they have a really, really good VODs review with the Legacy series. I don't want to sit here and crap on the Chiefs, all right? They're a good team. I'm not going to do that. I'm not in a position to do that. If I was, maybe, but not right now. But they have some good VODs to review. They can look at the Legacy series and take away a lot because Chiefs, they were winning the early game. They were coming into it strong. I feel like those series, not taking it away from Legacy, but there were some silly deaths that sort of let the thing sway away from them. So if Sin can look at the VODs, pick some things up, they have a very good chance, but they need to do their homework. They can't just sit back and go into it sort of... It seemed like Juice was like, well, they're not as strong as they used to be, but he needs to give them the respect that they deserve.
Yeah, I certainly think there is something in the 5v5 team fight if you have a little bit of a scratch at the moment for the Chiefs. However, let's bring up today's results as we round out the night. It was going to be... it was Abyss Esports taking the 2-1 victory over Avant Gaming before Sin were able to pick up the quick 2-0 over Team Regicide. Of course, tomorrow at 3 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, it is going to be Team Regicide taking back to Summoner's Rift against TM Gaming. Wow, that is a short turnaround before Legacy Esports take on Abyss Esports, in which is now a very interesting match as the teams are both coming in with some hot form. Of course, that is going to be 3 PM tomorrow. However, guys, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Jish, T-Gun, of course, Aegean Fish, and the entire production crew. And we'll catch you at the same time, 3 PM tomorrow.
Careful. Ultimate thrown out by Raid. He doesn't get Jake, but Maokai comes in as well. Knocks back Blinky, picks up first blood, throws out the root. Can't catch him though. Oh, Seb throws out the elbow. That's going to lock everyone from AV down. The root's too strong. Temper Fate getting 3 as well. Series has joined that fight. He's going to get taken out really low. It will be Rosie that falls first, but Jake will fall slightly up. A double kill picked up by Rosie. And Habu joins this fight. Will lock down a Sejuani. Eats him alive. Luch gets that kill. He wants to go on cleanup duty here. Blinky will be able to help Triple out, getting a kill for himself, but now there's a Cassidy on his face, getting ripped, walked all over, double kill, picked up by Luch. Sonya's loose by Luch, they catch Blinky, he's dead. Big pick from Rosie, still looking forward to the magical journey. Clean up crew, incoming, double knockup. Series gonna fall as well. That's a double for Cassidy and a double for the Zarya as well. Rosie trying to go in the stun, but Blinky almost dead already. Heals back up to half health, jumps on by the Cassidy. Now he's got his eyes set toward Triple, but the front line of AB already destroyed. Series goes for another flank, he can't get anything out of it. Double kill picked up by the Cassidy. The Nexus is gonna fall with that Abyss. Pick up game number 1 over AV, stunning quite a few people back at home. They're looking to try and pick up this series here as well. Oh, that's a gank mid lane. Sybil locks down Diana. Luch does have flash, but there's way too much damage coming out. Why would you flash that? And first blood's picked up by Sybil. Pabu wants to go for the fight. A lockdown series. He can't get out of this pit. Will fall. Luch at half health, getting jumped off by Triple. Tries to get away from this. Sybil is taking quite a bit of damage. Has to be careful. Pabu thinks he can fight this one out. May be able to if he gets some cooldowns back up, but Triple has got so much mana off the back of this. Sybil gonna dodge out the kick, still gets taken down. Pabu has to fight his way out of this one. Has to dodge everything. One more, no, he can't do it. Big outplay by Pabu. He gets the double kill. Pabu will lock down Blinky, looking for that kill, but immediately gets turned on by the rest of AV. Raid has rejoined the fight. Diana gets 1 kill onto the Caitlyn. The rest of AV want to kick this off. Green Man will be split into little bloblets, but AV turn around and kill him off. So now it's a 3-on-4. Blinky gets that first kill. Raid is trying to do something about it. Good delivery system from Seb, but it's not enough. Raid trying to kite for his life, does no damage whatsoever. Double kill for Blinky. Seb's gonna fall as well. Triple kill picked up by the Caitlyn Sheriff, and now the Nexus is gonna fall as well. There goes Seb, looking to jump in. He's taking up the turret first. Can use the W to break it, but he still takes damage. First blood picked up by Series. AV still want to go for it. They engage on towards Luch, very low. Can't get into the Sanguine Pool in time. Rosie jumps in, gets a double knockup. Raid still kiting this one back. Good damage on the Jake. Very low health bars on Pabu. Sybil jumps in again, gets a 3-man knockout. A triple, incredibly healthy. Falc's on their face, gets the quadra kill off the back of that as well. They lock down Rosie and they get the first kill of the fight. Blinky already dead. Seb will fall shortly after Luch with a 3-man human play, but Triple again. Look at Triple. He's untouched. Big double kill being picked up by Raid though. Sybil's in some trouble, and this one's going to turn back in Abyss's favor. Raid cleans up the team fight. Triple's forced to flash away from the fight. Rosie will fall due to turret, and Luch is taking over the turret now. Pabu deep in the back lines will get a kill onto Triple. The star AP carry at the moment for a fight. Sybil's going to get knocked back. Blinky's trying to run away from a Vladimir, but that's a Hemo playing on top of him. Raid chucks a feather in his face, and that's all she wrote. Abyss pick up an ace over Avant Gaming. First game was such a one-sided affair. Same for game 2, went in AV's favor. This match, a little bit of a back and forth, but Abyss pick up the victory. They go 2-1 over AV. Silver though, ignited in mid lane. Here comes Zach. Forced to use the Sanguine Pool. Fade is in there. Knocks up Ryoma, but first blood picked up by the Sin mid. Big hook coming out from Rogue. Gives FBI his first kill, and he's still somehow in the back of this fight. Kiting away against CZZ as well as Faye. Chen will fall. Ryoma goes unstoppable. It will be Vladimir that gets one back for Regicide. He chases down Rogue, but 4 members of Sin. Make sure he gets cut off. A double kill gets picked up by Silman, but a triple for Ryoma. No, Jenny Boy, be careful. Dies mid-air, halfway through the rocket jump. Tristana's rockets actually fell on the wrong side of the map there. ZZZ tries to go 1-on-5, getting absolutely destroyed at the moment. FBI goes on a killing spree as Silman will pick up a consolation kill against Dopa. Hooked back. Coming out from Rogue, and Chains will land from Arma. He's unstoppable. Juice jumps in, knocks up Faye, delivers him to the team. Double kill for FBI. Chenny Boy's next. Does he get the triple? He does. It's going to be Silman, the last man alive in this team fight, trying to run away. Ooh. Hook is on from Rogue. Big pick from Sin. They get 4 kills. Very, very clean coming out from Sin. They pick up a decisive victory over Regicide 30 minutes into the match. Now Chenny trying to kite his way towards the base of Sin. Throwing spears in the juice, but will fall here. FBI picks up first blood. Fade flashes for it. ZZ dices on it. So there's one more, and it's an easy pick up at the top lane. Great synergy between the two. Looking for this kill. Knockback comes out of Silman, but no stun. Easy 1-on-1 by Sin's mid laner. Rogue pops his ultimate, so does FBI. Propel comes out of Fade Exhaust though, but FBI, he gets a kill, turns it around. Church next, flashes away for the kick this. He gets a double, make that a triple kill for FBI. Fade flash cocoons and misses. He's got a repel low on health. Chen with a double charm, knock up onto FBI, avoided with his own ultimate. Meanwhile, Juice gets that kill on the Faye. Big body block coming out from Dopa. Chenny in trouble, trying to cut out of this fight. But Chen's the first to fall. FBI gets that kill, and another body block from Dopa will slow them down. There we go. There's the flash coming from Chen. Will lock down a couple, pulled back by Chenny Boy and spat back out. They're diving into FBI, but he's perfectly healthy, and Ryoma keeps him alive. ZZZ in the back lines, they can't do much. Shutdown coming out for Ryoma. Only 3 members of Regicide left up. Sin march towards the Nexus. They want to take a 2-0 here over Regicide. Silman trying not to die inside of his own fountain. Wants to heal back up. FBI's got other ideas. Chucks some feathers into his face. Dope positioning for the dive. I don't think Sin will go for it just yet. Instead, they focus on the Nexus and they go 2-0 here over Regicide.